A cold wind pushed against the little cafe windows that afternoon, but inside, everything smelled like warm cinnamon and fresh hope. At least it did for everyone except the young woman sitting alone near the back. Her name was Emily, and she hadn't moved from her chair in over an hour. Her hands were folded tightly in her lap, her wheelchair locked beside her table, untouched coffee growing cold. She kept glancing at the door, trying to look calm, even though the truth was breaking her heart piece by piece. She had come for a first date. He had texted her, "Be there in 5." That was nearly 90 minutes ago. He wasn't coming, not after he realized she was paralyzed from the waist down. He had simply stopped replying. She told herself she was used to disappointment. But today felt different. Today hurt. Maybe because this time she had let herself hope that someone might see her for more than her disability. Maybe because she had actually believed him when he said he liked her smile. She blinked fast, refusing to let tears fall in a public place. But loneliness has a way of filling a room, even one as warm as this little cafe. Before the story continues, take a moment to subscribe, like, and comment to support more heartwarming stories here on Kindness Tales. Your engagement helps us share more life-changing moments with the world. The bell above the cafe door jingled, and in walked a single dad named Ryan, carrying a little pink backpack in one hand and holding his daughter Lily's mittened fingers in the other. They were laughing about something, some inside joke only a 7-year-old could come up with. They brought a burst of life into the room the way sunshine slips into a quiet space. And just as they were about to head to the counter, Lily tugged at her dad's sleeve. "Daddy," she looked sad. Ryan followed her gaze and saw Emily sitting alone, staring at her hands like they were the only things keeping her steady. He noticed the wheelchair beside her, the untouched coffee, the way she seemed to shrink into herself. That look, he recognized it. The look of someone trying not to feel invisible. He bent down to Lily. "Maybe she just needs some space." Lily shook her head firmly. "Or maybe she needs a friend." Kids have a way of saying the things adults overthink. Before Ryan could stop her, Lily marched straight across the cafe and stood right in front of Emily's table. "Hi," she said brightly, as if she'd known Emily forever. "My name's Lily. Why are you sad?" Emily startled, wiping her eyes quickly even though no tears had fallen. "Oh. I'm not sad. Just having a quiet moment." "You're lying," Lily said matter-of-factly. "Dad says it's rude to lie unless it's about surprise parties." Despite herself, Emily let out a small laugh. "Well, maybe I'm a little sad." Ryan rushed over, apologizing gently. But Emily only smiled, saying it was okay. It felt strange, but comforting, to be spoken to without pity. Most people avoided eye contact the moment they noticed her wheelchair. But this little girl didn't even seem to notice it. "Do you want to sit with us?" Lily asked. "We're on a daddy-daughter date and we like sharing cookies with nice people." Emily looked at Ryan, unsure if he felt pressured, but his warm nod invited her in. "We'd love some company," he said softly. They moved to a bigger table, Ryan helping without making it seem like a big deal, letting Emily lead the way. When she locked her wheelchair next to her new seat, Lily carefully placed a sugar cookie in front of her like it was a gift from a princess. They talked. At first, awkwardly, but soon with real ease. Emily shared that she had been a dancer before an accident 3 years ago. She talked about rehabilitation, about trying to find herself in a new body, about how strangers either stared too long or avoided her entirely. Ryan listened closely, not out of pity but curiosity and respect. And Lily kept chiming in with the confidence only a child carries. "Do your legs hurt?" she asked. "Sometimes," Emily replied honestly. "Mine do too when Daddy makes me clean my room." Ryan groaned. "Lily." It made Emily laugh, really laugh, for the first time that day. That sound softened something in the air. Eventually, Ryan asked gently, were you waiting for someone before we came in? It was a simple question. But it cracked open something tender. Emily hesitated before answering. Yes. A date. He didn't show. Ryan's jaw tightened just slightly, the kind of controlled anger good people feel when they witness unfairness. Lily's reaction was different. She slammed her tiny fist on the table. That's mean. If someone makes a date, they should show up. Daddy always shows up, even when he's tired. Ryan reached over to ruffle her hair, embarrassed, but Emily felt a warmth bloom in her chest. For months she had told herself she needed to get used to being let down, that it was simply part of life now. But sitting here, with a single dad and his bold, sweet daughter, she began to feel something else, something that felt a lot like hope. The afternoon drifted into early evening. They talked about life, favorite movies, childhood stories, and even the funny disasters from Ryan's early years as a single parent. Emily found herself sharing things she hadn't told anyone in months. And not once did Ryan treat her like she was fragile. He simply treated her like a person. When it was finally time for them to leave, Lily hugged Emily without warning. "You can be my friend," she declared. "Actually, you can be our friend." Emily felt her throat tighten. No one had said something that pure to her in a long time. Ryan extended a hand. "We come here every Saturday," he said gently. "If you ever want company, we'd be happy to see you again." Emily looked at their smiling faces, the father's calm kindness, the child's unfiltered love, and realized something true. They hadn't just interrupted her worst day. They had changed it. "I'd like that," she whispered. As they walked out, the cafe felt suddenly warm again. The cold coffee didn't matter. The empty chair across from her didn't matter. What mattered was that kindness, even from people she had never met, had turned a painful moment into a healing one. In the weeks that followed, Saturdays at the cafe became their ritual. Lily brought coloring books for all three of them. Ryan brought jokes that were bad on purpose just to make Emily smile. And Emily brought stories, stories of resilience, of rebuilding, of finding new pieces of joy she thought she'd lost forever. And somewhere between those shared cookies and shared conversations, she realized something powerful. Kindness isn't just a small gesture. Sometimes, it's a lifeline. Sometimes, it's the moment that reminds us that we still belong, that we are still seen, that we still matter. So if you ever find someone sitting alone, hurting in silence, remember this story. A little kindness can change everything, even a life.